Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into something that's, well, exploding really, the massive energy needs of artificial intelligence. And we've got sources suggesting the Trump administration has some specific plans to tackle this head on.
Yeah, it's fascinating because this isn't just a tech problem, is it? It's
Mhm.
really strategic now. You have to see it in the context of, the tech race between the US and China, powering AI effectively. That's a huge advantage economically, militarily, everything. It's foundational.
Okay, foundational. Let's unpack that energy demand piece first. The
Mm.
scale sounds enormous. What are we actually looking at?
The numbers are pretty eye-opening. Sources point to something like a five-fold jump in U.S. electricity use just for AI between now, 2024, and 2029. Fivefold.
Wow.
And that's not all. A
Yeah.
recent Deloitte report, it suggests AI data center energy use could grow over 30 times by 2035.
30 times.
Yeah. Think about the pressure that puts on, our current power companies, the grid itself. It just wasn't built for this kind of exponential curve.
That's a staggering increase. So, okay, given that demand, what's the administration reportedly planning? How do they propose we actually generate and deliver all that power?
Well, the focus seems to be on streamlining things, cutting delays. So one part is making it faster, much faster, for new power projects to actually connect to the grid.
Yeah.
That's a known bottleneck.
Right.
But maybe more strategically, they're looking at using federal land, tech land under the Department of Defense or Interior specifically for building data centers.
Oh, okay. So bypassing some local hurdles.
Exactly. It's a way to get around some of the usual siting problems like local opposition that can really slow these big projects down. It signals this is like a top national priority.
Hmm.
And because the grid infrastructure itself is a challenge, they're also talking about prioritizing grid connections for power projects that are further along in development already.
That definitely sounds like trying to fast track things. Are there specific rule changes, maybe regulatory shifts being talked about to make that streamlining happen?
Yes, definitely. They seem to be looking hard at regulations to, cut down the red tape for data centers. One big idea floating around is maybe a nationwide Clean Water Act permit for these facilities.
A nationwide permit. How would that work?
Well, right now, getting those permits is often state by state. It can take a long time. A single nationwide permit could simplify that massively, speed things right up. It really shows how environmental roles and building this critical digital infrastructure are kind of bumping up against each other. This isn't just a small tweak.
Now, that sounds pretty significant. Are
Yeah.
there other, maybe broader projects or partnerships involved in this push?
Yeah, one that gets mentioned is this thing called the Stargate Project. It sounds like a huge initiative, multi-billion dollars, involving big names like OpenAI, SoftBank, Oracle.
Stargate. What's the
Yeah.
goal there?
Explicitly, to build a ton of new data centers fast
Hmm.
and create jobs, supposedly over 100,000. But it ties right back into that narrative of, winning the AI race against China. It sort of echoes when President Trump declared a national energy emergency early on, also aimed at cutting regulations for energy production. There's a pattern there, maybe. Prioritizing speed.
It really does sound like a full court press. Any upcoming dates or events we should watch for that signal how fast this is moving?
Seems like it. They're expecting an AI action plan by July 23rd, and it's apparently got input from the National Security Council. So yeah, high-level stuff.
National Security Council involvement? Okay.
And there's even talk of an AI Action Day event. Plus, President Trump has an AI and energy event scheduled in Pennsylvania for July 15th. But, this brings up the core tension, doesn't it? You have this incredible urgency for new power, tons of it. But you're running into these existing hurdles, environmental studies that take ages, a power grid, the transmission lines that are already stretched thin, sometimes completely overwhelmed.
Right. It's not just about making power, it's getting it where it needs to go, quickly. So, what does this all mean for you listening? It feels like we're at this real pressure point. The
Yeah.
need to power the AI revolution is undeniable. It's here,
Hmm.
and there are these ambitious plans coming down. But the existing infrastructure, the real world challenges,
Hmm.
they're significant, very significant.
Absolutely. And maybe the bigger question to leave you with is, beyond just meeting the immediate demand, what happens long term? What are the effects societally, environmentally, if our energy systems just can't keep up with AI's growth? That's something we'll all be grappling with.